cut his skin off, cut his tongue off right in front of his brothers. And then it goes through each brother. Each brother kept the faith and had to go through that exact same thing, being killed by the king. But they would not sin, even seeing a brother before them killed. Let me jump to the end and get straight to the point. It says, I'm going to start at verse 36. It says, for our brethren who now have suffered a short pain, because that's just a short pain, are dead under God's covenant of everlasting life, but thou through thy judgment of God shall receive just punishment for thy pride. Meaning the king, he's going to get judgment for that. It's going to come down on him. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the law of our fathers, beseeching God that he will speedily be merciful unto our nation, that thou be tormented by it, and plague they will confess that he alone is God, and that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease. Then the king, being arranged, handed him worse than all the rest. So the last brother, he handled him worse than all the rest of his brothers, and took it grievously that he was mocked. So this man died undefiled, but put his whole trust in the Lord. He died undefiled, but he put his whole trust in the Lord. Pretty much, he was willing to die in order to follow the Lord. It says, last of all, after the sons, the mother died. So the mother died. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and the extreme torture. So they went through extreme torture, and they were willing to go through that in order to follow the Lord. This is 12 tribes, so I don't know why I've been holding it, but I just bring it out. Let me actually set it down right quick. Let me grab this. To show you more of why we do this, because there's a great reward for those who follow the Lord. Starting at verse 28. Then Peter began to say unto him, Lo, we have left all and have followed thee. So same thing. They sacrificed all, their children, women that didn't want to get with it, the riches of this world. They sacrificed all that, but there's a reason why. They followed the Lord. This is why. And Yahushua answered and said, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that has left house or brethren or sister or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my sake in the Gospels, but he shall receive 100-fold now in this time. Houses, brethren, sisters, mothers, children, lands, with persecutions in all the world to come, eternal life. So we sacrifice these things on this side. We keep the faith on this side, because on the other side we're going to be rewarded 100-fold. Whatever we lose on this side, we're going to get times 100 that in the kingdom. And the great thing about the kingdom is it's going to be eternal. The kingdom going to last forever. Like, this kingdom going to be destroyed. Stacking up your riches in this kingdom is vain, because this kingdom is going to be destroyed. And the kingdom of heaven is going to last forever. That's the difference. And we're going to get 100-fold for making that sacrifice. Here's another one. Revelations. Revelations chapter 2. Verse 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So if you follow the Lord, this is the word Christian just means to follow Christ. This will be what a true Christian is. If you overcome, you endure to the end, you keep the faith, you don't fall into sin, right? And you keep the Lord works, which is the law, statutes, and commandments to the end, the Lord will give you power over the rest of the nations. How can all the rest of the nations be saved with us, and salvation is for everybody if the Lord has given us power over them? So salvation is only for Israel. And this is the point, verse 27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As a vessel of powder shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. So he's going to give the ones that follow him power to rule over the nations with a rod of iron. Here's another one. Just more examples of, keeping the faith to the end. Luke 19, verse 17, right? And he said to him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. So this parable is, I'll jump back. Verse 15 says, and it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. So the Lord gave us his money. He said, go double my money, which really just means that the Lord gave us this truth. He said, go out there and bring other brothers into it. That's what it means. And it came the first saying, Lord, thy pound has gained 10 pounds. So the Lord gave him a pound, he gained 10 pounds, meaning he went out there and put the work in. And then the Lord said, and then he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. So with you being faithful in very little right now, having very little to your name, being faithful, sacrificing all that to follow the Lord, and the kingdom of the Lord will give you authority over 10 cities. So imagine if you had authority. Springfield, Illinois is under your authority. Chicago, Illinois is under your authority. St. Louis under your authority. 10 cities under your authority. The Lord will give you power over 10 cities. That's the reward that you get for doing this work. That's a great reward. It sounds like a good deal to me. All I gotta do is come out here, keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of my ability. Not perfect, because only the Lord was perfect. But as long as I'm trying, and then come out here and spread the word, spread the gospel to other brothers, to wake up other brothers. In return, the Lord gonna give me 100-fold in the kingdom. Gonna give me authority over 10 cities. I'm gonna be one of those great men in the kingdom. That sounds like a good sacrifice to me. Here's another one. Since we're talking about keeping the faith, right? Let me see if I can find it. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty. This is the whole duty of man. So the whole duty of man is to fear the Lord and keep his commandments. You see what I'm saying? Which goes into what we're bringing out today. Just keep the faith. Stay strong in the faith, and don't forget the whole duty of man. Because we fear God, we keep his commandments. We got to keep the law, statutes, commandments, just like if you got a parent. Growing up, you listen to what your parent tells you because you fear your parents. Does that mean that, fear in the sense of you scared of them? Yeah, in a way, but really it's like a respect. You respect them, so you listen to them. You have that fear in them. If you don't listen to your parents, what they going to do? They going to spank you and then you going to end up listening. So it's the same thing when it comes to the Lord. He's our Father. The whole duty of man is to follow law, statutes, commandments, and fear the Lord. Here's another one. If I can find this one. This is John chapter 3. Verse 36. He that believeth on the Son has everlasting life. And he that believeth not on the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abideth on him. So that's what it comes down to, keeping his faith. If you believe on Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh is the Father that sits on the throne, then you're going to have everlasting life. But if you don't believe or if you don't keep the faith, you should not see life. You're going to get caught up in his wrath when he comes back to bring judgment, y'all. That's what you're going to get caught up in. I'm just jumping around from precept to precept. That's another one in John 2. Pretty much just trying to give examples to brothers of why it's good to keep the faith and give brothers more faith. This is John chapter 16. Let me find the verse. Oh man. Yeah, this is John chapter 16. I'll start at verse 22. It says, And ye now therefore have sorrow, but I will see you again, and your heart shall rejoice, and your joy no man take it from you. Because right now we got sorrow. You know, the Lord went up. He went up to sit on the right hand of the Father in the heavens. And we got a lot of sorrow because we had that persecution come upon us. We had that destruction. We went into slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, the genocide of the Native Americans, genocide of the Aztecs, of the Issachar and Gadites, all the tribes of Israel, right? But when he comes back, he's coming back to bring us into the kingdom of heaven where we're going to rejoice and no man is going to be able to take that joy away from us. Verse 23 says, and in that day ye shall ask me nothing. Verily, verily, I say unto you, whatsoever ye ask the Father in my name, he will give to you. So whatever you think about one, whatever you could even imagine, before you even ask, it's going to be given to you. You say you want this, you say you want 100 wives, it's going to be given to you before you even ask about it. Anything you ask in the Father's name, he's going to give to you. Verse 23 says, hereto have ye asked nothing in my name, ask and ye shall receive, that your joy may be full. You ain't even going to have to ask for these things, man, because you're already going to have them in the kingdom. We're going to have the whole world in the kingdom. We're going to be back in that covenant with the Lord, where the Lord said, look, you follow these laws, statutes, commandments, I give you everything that you could possibly ask for. All the riches, all the glory, everything. That's the covenant that we're going back into the Lord. It says, these things have I spoken unto you in Proverbs, but the time cometh when I shall no more speak unto you in Proverbs, but I shall show you plainly of the Father. So these things, we know these things by reading through the Bible that these things will happen. There's going to be a time that's coming where we ain't going to have to read the Bible anymore, where the Lord going to show us, when we actually going to go into the kingdom. We're going to be like, look, all that was right. Matter of fact, let's jump back to Jeremiah 31. Starting at verse 31. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. That means the Israelites. Does that mean everybody else in the world? No, it's talking about the Israelites. That's who the new covenant is with. That's what it says. Now according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. That's the old covenant that was made with Moses. And when we came out of Egypt, when we came out of that bondage. Which my covenant they break, although I was a husbandman and to them sake the Lord. Because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. It said, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. The house of Israel. Not all the rest of the other nations. The house of Israel. After those days, right? Say the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts. And I will be their God, and they should be my people. So in the kingdom, we're going to be perfect. We're not going to sin no more, because he's going to put those laws, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts and write them in their hearts. And I will be their God, and they should be my people. So basically, it's like we're going to get those glorified bodies that's going to be indestructible, just like Adam had before he sinned. Death is a curse that was put on mankind because we sinned. During the time of Adam, before he sinned, he didn't die. They lived forever. So we're going to get those same indestructible bodies, and it's going to be downloaded into us like a computer, where we're going to know the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward part. Now it says, and they should teach no more. So we ain't going to teach each other. Every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. For they shall all know me, from the least of them and to the greatest of them, saith the Lord. And I will forgive their iniquity and remember their sins no more. And that's why you keep the faith. That's why you keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability. Because the ones that you're not able to keep perfect, you pray to the Lord about it and you try to keep them. But the Lord's going to forgive our iniquities, and he's not going to remember those sins no more. So we're going to be made perfect. And we're going to have the law, statutes, commandments. I'm not going to have to teach him. He ain't going to have to teach me, because it's going to be in our inward parts, and we both going to know it. So that's another reason why you should keep the faith, and you should sacrifice the things on the side in order to keep the faith, because there's a great reward. Here, let me jump into that more in depth. Got a little bit more time. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. It says, so this is what we're looking to get changed. We're looking to get those spiritual indestructible bodies where we can live forever, where we can have that spiritual power, where we can come back and we can take the kingdom. Because that's what's going to happen. You know, the Lord is going to destroy this place. He's going to take up his elect. They're going to get changed in the twinkling of an eye to those indestructible bodies. We're going to get that spiritual power, and we're going to come back down, and we're going to take the kingdom. And you're going to have to get down or lay down. It ain't going to be no more we out here pleading with you, trying to teach you. No, it's going to be, look, this is the kingdom. You got to keep the law, statutes, commandments. If you don't, you're going to get dealt with. And we can bring that out, too. My camera's going to cut off, so let me bring this out. Verse 52, 1 Corinthians 15, verse 52. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet should sound, and the dead should raise up incorruptible, and we should be changed. Changed to what? For the corruptible must put on incorruption, and the mortal, we're mortal right now, must put on immortality. So when the corruptible shall have put on incorruption, the mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. How is death swallowed up in victory? Because we're not going to die anymore. Death ain't going to have victory over us anymore. We're not going to get to die. We're going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye to what you would call your Superman or your X-Man or whatever. That's where they get the ideal from. Right? It says, O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But we're not going to sin no more because we're going to be made perfect. It's going to be put on an inward voice. So therefore, we're not going to die anymore. We're not going to be able to die anymore. So that's why you keep the faith, man. And you follow the law, statutes, commandments, because we know that there's a big reward on the other side. So with that, my camera about to cut off. We're going to give